up, everyone? Sam Schaefer here with Sam Schaefer Numismatics. Today I am featuring episode 2 of Coin Mythbusters. I'm excited to bring you guys this episode, and this is actually a really important topic. Now, initially I thought about opening this video by shredding a $1 bill. My wife said, don't do that. So, anyways, the point of that was to show how significant this topic is. And that is the myth that buying coins through solicitations or advertisements is a safe and effective way to buy coins. Now, some of you are probably thinking, well, that's obviously false. But the truth is, there are people every day, right now, chances are someone that you know is doing the equivalent of shredding money, throwing it away, flushing it away, whatever you want to, however you want to describe wasting money. And it's a really sad thing, but there are a lot of companies within the coin industry that proclaim to be reputable, and what they are doing is completely the opposite. And I'm going to, without naming names, you guys can certainly figure out some of the companies that I'm discussing, but I'm not going to just be throwing anybody under the bus here and calling out companies by name. But I just want to make people aware that this is a serious issue, and it is a myth that really does need to end. So here's the truth. There are a lot of companies out there who make their money in coins by selling very generic, very cheap, very common coins and marketing them aggressively using fancy packaging to give off a perception of value. And what they charge for this material is way, way, way beyond a fair market value. And in fact, in my opinion, it really is never going to achieve a positive net return for the people buying these items. In fact, to give you guys an example, I once did an appraisal, and this was earlier on in my coin career, for a gentleman who had spent $45,000 on coins through a solicitation coin firm. When we completed the appraisal, we valued the coins at $2,500, and that is horrifying to me, and it's sad. This was a guy who had all the best intentions in the world of giving his grandkids an investment, something that in his thoughts would gain value, that he was really handing them something special down. And it turns out that really all he did was waste money. Now, I know you can say, well, the enjoyment of the hobby is really what it's all about. Sure, I agree with that, If we just simply look at numismatics as a way to make money and as an investment, chances are that's going to fail ultimately, because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of skill to build a collection that is going to have a net return, especially in a short amount of time. Can be done, and I'll talk about that more in future videos, in terms of how to strategize. But let me I want to get into this, because what I find most disturbing about these companies is just the sheer amount of false advertising that occurs and how deceptive it can be. And this is really an important topic for those of you who might have grandparents, aunts and uncles, parents that are buying coins through phone, internet, or television solicitations. To put it sort of crudely, it's not uncommon in the numismatic industry for us to call this stuff TV bleep. So that gives you an indication. Here is some advertising material for one of these companies, and this is kind of their hallmark. So this is for a full collection of piece silver dollars, and they ship them out in these little, well, they're not little, they're like supposedly to be the size of like a silver ingot. And they ship 2 coins per month, and they cost $60 a piece. So the coins that they use for these are not nice coins. It might be justifiable if the coins were nice, but truly, we're talking like junk silver. Like some of these, not that they would be melted, but they're going to trade around the melt value. So there is no way. I mean, silver would have to go up to like $200 an ounce for people to ever be able to make this justified, in the fair market value. So, I get it. Like, this is fancy, it's cool, but there is not a strong aftermarket value for this type of stuff. Sure, it might bring a little premium. Sometimes I list this stuff on eBay, and it does bring a bit. But it never brings the enormous premium that these companies charge for this material. It's really, really too bad. So, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I just want to share some of the statements that are made on here. So this is, again, advertising for a full set of Peace and Morgan. It's Peace and Morgan silver dollars here. So they say, this stunning collection contains more than 2 troy pounds of silver. Well, the silver price, $15 an ounce. You can kind of do the math. 2 pounds of silver is not a life-changing amount of money. It's really not that much. But they do that to make it sound like you're inheriting a mine worth of material. So these coins, mind you, are impressive on every level. Morgan and Peace silver dollars continue to inspire generations at 90% pure silver. 90% pure silver. Each coin contains a level of this precious metal not seen in circulated U.S. coinage in decades. With each passing day, fewer and fewer Americans even recall a day when silver coins were part of everyday life. Mind you, the demographic that these people are marketing these to is generally going to be the demographic that remembers silver coins circulating. So they're really hammering on that nostalgia factor. Millions of these coins were struck by the U.S. Mint. It is estimated that only a fraction of the original number still exists. That is true. More than half the entire production of Morgan and Peace dollars were melted down to reclaim the increasingly valuable silver. Those that escaped this fate were immediately hidden in private collections. It is remarkable. This is ridiculous here. It is remarkable to own even one of these 90% silver dollars. But think, you could have the whole collection. Seriously, these are coins that you could buy in any coin shop for less than $16 a piece. And they're charging $60 for one coin. And they're saying that it's amazing to even own one. To me, that's blatant false advertising. Now, here's where they get you. Your personal treasury of historic U.S. silver dollars is preserved in a custom-crafted vault chest. Yours free of charge. We're not even going to charge you for the vault chest. Really? I mean, it's pretty obvious they're charging you for the vault chest. They're just not saying they are. It comes with a lock and key for safekeeping, and you'll also receive a personalized certificate of silver dollar acquisition. That's meaningless. And it underscores the importance of acquiring this hard-to-find collection. That COA means nothing. This collection is not hard to acquire. Their selling points are blatantly false. Anyways, that's the type of advertising these companies do. It's literally false. Now, what they give you, for instance, is amazing presentations. Don't get me wrong. This is cool. For instance, Walking Liberties. How about that? Each coin has all this cool historic information. And I mean, this is neat. This is a neat presentation. And to me, I actually like this idea. I like the concept of it. You know, providing history and coins at the same time. It does make it exciting. But the problem is, what they charge for it, you'll never, ever, ever see the return on the investment. And you would be amazed. I mean, it's not uncommon. In fact, I might say almost every week, I buy an estate or a collection that is filled with this stuff. And it makes me sad for the benefactors, for the people themselves that collected it, and you know, sometimes I think they even get trapped in the advertising. Like, these people are very aggressive sales people, and I've heard horror stories. You know, some companies are better than others, but some will really just continue to pound you with selling this material. And I understand. Look, they're a business, and just like me, you know, businesses have to make money. And this company, with all this presentation material, which is free, is actually not free. You know, their cost of doing business is going to be expensive. But I guess I don't like the foundation of a business that is out there just to really bury collectors in material. I don't think that's right. And again, maybe I'm biased because I've seen so many fortunes destroyed by this that I just think it's wrong. So, anyways, here, let me finish with this point. Here's a receipt from this collection I bought recently, and it is for a couple items that were mostly, it was 4 wheat pennies, and they were in little presentation placards. And this person charged or paid $19.90 for these 4 wheat pennies. They were common dates, all 4 of them. They were coins that I would sell, and virtually any other dealer, I mean any coin shop across the U.S. would sell for 12 cents. And this person paid $20. So, you know, you can decide how you feel about that. I think it's blatantly a ripoff. And I hope that in this video I've kind of shed a little bit of light on this significant problem. It's really tough to fix, you know. Hopefully at some point as an industry, you know, we can unify a little bit around this issue, but it's very complicated. And I have to add this too. As part of the complication, there are so many coins out there, and there are not collectors for every coin. There are so many wheat pennies. You know, nobody out there, I mean, it's like, who needs a 1958D for their wheat penny set? They're everywhere. You can still find them in change occasionally. And yet there's millions of them around, you know, floating out there. Those coins have to find an end user at some point. You know, the value of coins, so long as it remains stable, people have to be buying. So the truth is, a lot of the material out there, and this is why it's so important to collect nice coins, because average coins are in this constant spin cycle. You know, so somebody orders from like the mail order company, they die off or pass their collection out or however, then the benefactors come in, sell me the coin, then I sell the coin, usually wholesale, to another dealer because there's no retail buyers for a lot of this very common material. That wholesale dealer will then sell it to a program. It ends up back on TV. It ends up being bought by a grandparent again, and the cycle just continues. So I at the same time, I know that I'm part of the problem. Like, we're all part of the problem. And maybe that the answer is that certain coins are just going to end up eventually having to have a price reduction. I don't know exactly the answer. But my feeling is, by getting this word out there, that maybe at least we can start to make people aware. So if you have watched this video, if you know somebody in your life that is buying coins, ask them about them. Get involved. Try and figure out where they're buying their coins. Because if they're buying from a mail order company, they could be losing a fortune. So let's see if we can prevent that together. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode of Mythbusters. I'll be back with a new one soon. Everybody, enjoy your week. Happy collecting. As usual, like, comment, share, give me your thoughts. Always appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.